better shake your booties for black girl nerds.
Larenz, can Tate just say, you know what, I'm just going to come all the way over to the dark side now? Can we just have him all the way in the crime syndicate, please?
Gianni, listen, I think that there should be a little bit more going on than just being on the dark side. I want to make sure that Tate is, completely, materialized. And when I say that is that, it's kind of nice to play a character who can be on both sides, on both sides of the fence. In one aspect, he's the voice of the people. He wants to be the voice to the voiceless and preach the good gospel. But we know on the other side of politics, it can be a very dark world, dark place. And that's what's so nice about being in a show like Ghost. There's a lot of duality that's going on. And to be completely on one side, I have far more enjoyment when I can play both sides. Like most of the characters, there's a lot of duality with everyone. So it's nice to be able to jump back and forth.
So that's great for Larenz, but is that good for the great councilman himself? Because now I'm feeling, is he a little lost? Like, what does success look like to him? Because it's changing and it's shifting, and usually politicians have a singular idea of what success, whether it's the White House or whatever their ambitions are. But, someday you want to be a little crooked. Maybe he's at school being a professor. Maybe he wants to be the councilman. Maybe he wants to be the killer of dreams. What does success look like for Councilman Tate, do you think?
I think all of it. The guy can be, pretty self-serving on a lot of levels, but he wants it all. And he obviously will do whatever it takes to get it all. And going back to the theme of the show being someone who has power, and power is one of those things that people, lust after, and people want that power. They want that control. And there's so many different pitfalls and there's so many obstacles that Councilman Tate is dealing with at every turn. When he thinks one moment he's got it, something switches. And it's just, a reflection of the great storytelling that our writers and our creators and our producers are doing on the show. But success looks like someone who can really be in control for Tate, and someone who can have the kind of, dare I say, influence that will allow him to reach the higher or the highest place in office as he possibly can. If that, could happen for him, he would definitely go for it.
For sure. Some of my favorite moments with you have been with Michael Rainey plays Tariq. And you guys have had a chance now to work together for a long, long time. So if you look back to when the first scenes where you guys filmed together to where you guys are now, Tariq has no car, but yet he can meet you every 5 minutes. What is your impression of what that growth between the two of your relationship, not as the councilman and Tariq, but as Larenz and Michael?
Listen, Michael is fantastic. I've been able to watch Michael grow as a young man, but also as an actor. And he's only developing to be the best version of himself. Also as an actor, his range is incredible, and he really has the character down to a T. So much that people really think that Michael is Tariq. I think it's so funny how invested our Power family, how they are so connected to what we do. But he and I have a great relationship. I'm just loving all the things that he's, sort of getting all the accolades, because at one point, Michael was dealing with the fact that people didn't like his character, and to see how that affected him, but he didn't allow it to define who he was as a person, because he had a job to do. And just to see his growth as a young man into an adult is really spectacular and is extraordinary. And I only can say that he will only get better, grow as a young man. And I love to give the brother his flowers. He deserves it.
As you do as well, Councilman Tate. I mean, What would we do without Councilman Tate?
I don't know. You got to ask those writers and producers. What we gonna do without them? You know what I'm saying? What we gonna do with them?
Keep Councilman Tate. Keep Councilman Tate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a
Okay,
shirt.
yeah, for sure. For sure. We have to.
Gotta get a shirt. Well, I thank you for your time. Have a marvelous, marvelous season. Always enjoyable to see you work. And thank you again for your time.
Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys, for your time. Alix, I'll begin with you. You know, we're deepening in our relationship with the three of you, and it's moving from a less childlike approach to the business and starting to see things with real adult eyes. What has been the shift now in the crew from those young, naive-ish kids that we saw selling drugs in the beginning from real king and queen pin behavior that we're getting now in season 3?
Yeah, I think there's an underlying, just like a darkness that shows in everyone, even Brayden, who is constantly joking. It's actually crazy, but I think it's really interesting to watch because you're just learning so much about everyone, and it's just giving everybody so many layers and so much complexity.
Mm-hmm. Over to you, Gianni. For Brayden now has a different road to what he believes to be success. What do you think is success for him as he enters this next chapter in the trade?
Moving as much product in New York City as humanly possible. No, I honestly think like that is it's an interesting question because like I don't know, like at this point Brayden just kind of wants to have fun, live his life, and not be not given a life. He chose this life, so I think that's what makes him happy, is being able to choose. It obviously might not always be the right choice, but as long as it's his choice, then he's happy.
I think he just likes the thrill of making money and just doing crazy stuff to make
money. Right.
I'm glad you said that, because that's a great segue. When we begin with Tariq in this version of his life, his guiding principle has always been his mom, his sister, his family, and reuniting with them. But along the way, it's starting to shift a little bit into more power, control, leadership, all those things. Is Tariq going off the path? Is that still his true guiding principle? Family, mom, sister?
Oh yeah, that's definitely still his like, that's his foundation. Mom, sister, grandma, that's family right there. That's basically why he does everything he's doing. But obviously, the world that he's in and the life that he's living, it will kind of drag him into different lanes. It will force him to take different turns in the journey. But Tariq is never gonna forget about mom and Yasmin. Big mom. He's never gonna forget. That's really the main focus. That's always been his main focus.
Driving force.
Yeah, that's been his driving force. So everything he's doing, whether or not, it seems like they're in the back of his mind, they always be in the back of his mind. He's doing that for the family.
Alix, back to you. Effie is down for whatever. Does Effie have a fear factor I'm starting to think she's a little sociopathic. I've never really seemed too scared of nothing.
Do I think that she's afraid? Yes, I think human fear exists in any single person on this planet, but it's really about how they show it. And I think that she'll never allow herself to look weak or to show things like that. Because at the end of the day, like, family is his driving force. I think success is hers. She wants to truly succeed and create her own life instead of just accepting what comes to her. So as long as she keeps her eye on that prize, she's never really scared of anything because she knows she has to march forward.
Mm-hmm. And I think her being surrounded by like a group of males that are working with her as well kind of forces her to be like that tough woman figure in the group.
For sure.
Just like not scared of anything. So none of them would step to her and mess with her if they feel like it, because they know Effie not gonna play around here. She's not gonna be scared. So she definitely has that fact, being scared, because she's
no games at all. Well, they are wrapping me. Thank you guys. Have a great season. Enjoyed the first 3 eps already. Super dope. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Welcome to you too. And we are now off to the races with another season of the gang, of the factions, the Tejadas, the students, the law enforcement. All of these people are going to enter a new chapter of their ongoing vendettas of sorts with each other. In this season, as we deepen our relationships with them, who is the most vulnerable to downfall without context? I guess you could say, so we won't spoil it.
That's a good question. So who is most vulnerable to downfall based upon what happens in the season? I think they really all are, because this season the theme is betrayal, and there's a lot of people keeping a lot of secrets. And when those secrets come out, if they come out, they threaten to explode. So I think Lorenzo has a huge secret that he's keeping. You know, we saw what happened at the end of season 2 with Lorenzo shooting Zeke. We know that Monet is not going to be happy about that. We know that the secret that Brayden and Effie are keeping regarding the murder of Lauren, that could explode, and that's going to impact Tariq, of course, because as we'll see in season 3, he and Effie are getting closer and closer. So that's a secret that she's keeping. And then also Sax is a CI in Davis McLean's law firm. You know that's not going to go well.
I look at how Tariq's evolution, since he from being a boy on the previous series to now being a king in this court, and how he's being pulled in opposite directions. He's starting to feel like maybe this might not be the path. Maybe there is some legitimacy out there, but it's almost like his tether to the dark is stronger than his father could ever be. Is that a fair assessment to what he is?
I think that's a good question, Jandra, and I think that is the core question. The question is it predetermined? Is it his destiny to go down that path and sort of become his father? Or does he have a choice? Is there something pulling him to the lighter side, if you will, something that's going to pull him out of the game and allow him to explore something else? And I think this season we will have, that's sort of like almost the key, because this season we'll have people trying to pull him out and show him that he has choices other than the game. But is the game, part of his DNA? We'll have to see.
Mm-hmm. And we also are introduced to another fantastic Black, strong female queen pin who is ready to mix it up. What I've enjoyed about the series is the women are ruthless. That's not that trope of a softer sort of queen pin who wishes she had something else to do. But no, these women try to kill everybody and get to the money. How does Noma kind of feed into that strong narrative of women that we've seen come through the series, whether they lived or died?
Well, this series, of course, was created by a strong Black woman, so Courtney Kemp. So that's been very much a theme and something that we wanted to keep going throughout. And we think that we have great, strong women watching the show. So we want to reflect that and reflect the audience and reflect that in the show. And plus, we've got great, strong women actors in the show: Mary J. Blige, Carolyn Chikezie, everyone else. So none of them are going to really allow themselves to be portrayed in such a way that they're not a strong Black woman. And it's funny, you've seen the first episode.
Yes.
So there was a question as to whether Noma would be the one that actually took that violent act, or would she order it? But we decided no, that to show her brutality and to show exactly who she is, she's the one who should actually do that act.
I love that. They are giving me the Sandman hook. Thank you so much for your time. This is exciting. I cannot wait to see what happens this season. Thank you again.
Oh, please keep watching. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. So one of my favorite things about the three of you is the one-liners that you have with each other, that you have with other staff. So I'll go through a couple of them without context since our time is short. Woody, I can't say the whole line. We handle Ish the old-fashioned way, and the way that line goes on. Is there a part where when you're looking at your script, do you go to see the jokes and the punches so you can work on the cadence of those more so than any of the other parts of the script, or how do you approach them?
Nah, I kind of like to ignore whatever is written and kind of do what I feel in the moment. I don't even know what you're talking about right now. That's what's crazy.
Oh,
I don't know that quote at all.
It is so funny. It's in episode what you'll see it. You're really good in it, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And LaToya, the same for you. Google goes both ways. When you're we see you're getting to a chance to live your dream. So what is living the dream now, or dreams that she thinks she has at this stage of her life, going to help her grow over the course of the season?
I would definitely say independence. She's finally, even though she doesn't really want to be a part of the family business and she's stepping out into school, she's getting to explore her individuality and her independence on campus.
Mm-hmm. Lovell, for you, for Drew, as Drew steps firmly in who he is, it seems like instead of becoming more, it's turning him into maybe a harder person or more sullen type of person. Is that a fair assessment of where he's going this season?
Yeah, absolutely. Drew is trying to navigate between his position in his family and what he wants in life. And I think as human beings, the more we do what we don't want to do, it begins to age us and weigh us down. And so I think going into this direction, I want to really display that.
Mm-hmm. And back over to you for Kane. We see Kane is now stepping fully into being that boss and being respected for it. Can he maintain that respect, or will he do something to kind of undermine the respect that he's clawing his way back for?
I don't know if he's gaining respect. I think that's what he's fighting for throughout the whole entire show, is just respect, and nobody is giving it to him at all. So I don't even know if I answered the question. But you look nice, though. I love that shirt.
Oh,
I love the whole aesthetics. You look beautiful.
Thank you. The season, the theme of the season is betrayal, and betrayal airs its head in many forms. They're going to wrap me soon by the show of hands. Who thinks their knowledge of the betrayal that's been done to them is going to affect them the most? Okay. And just like that, the wrap it up popped up on the screen. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time. Have a great season.
Thank you. Have a good day.
I wanted to talk about the cadence of Davis McLean, because he's probably the one character that's unyielding with he wants his money and he wants freedom for his brother. So you kind of alternate between, I'm your professional lawyer and I'm gonna kick your ass, one or the other. So when you worked on giving Davis his voice, how much of that did you spend on just how you wanted to enunciate your words? Because it made me think about the way you rhyme.
I trusted the writers to do their thing as far as the dialogue, but it was up to me to do the work. Yes, I used to have a very thick New York accent. But, traveling abroad, you can, and seeing different parts of the world, not just different parts of the world, but different parts of our own country, you tend to pick up things here and there. And the hardest thing for me was the New York accent. Daughter had to be changed to daughter, ours, ours became ours, water became water, or rather water. So little adjustments here and there, but all in all, every ounce of work that I went in to bring this character to life, not just myself, but the writers as well, has paid off in spades, man. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. By having that singular guiding way that Davis goes, is there any space for him to be vulnerable? Is there any chinks that people can explore with it and exploit within him? Because it doesn't seem like
over the past 2 seasons, you saw that he's starting to be exposed in different ways. First season, he was a cheater who was married. The second season, it was more or less he has a brother. And, what is their relationship like? So the more you peel back the layers of onion on Davis, I think it's going to the further we get inside that onion, there's not going to be a dry eye in the house.
I love the sort of verbal sparring that Davis and Monet do. and you guys have some of the most rewarding scenes of the season. When you guys shoot, is there a conversation that you have with each other of, we want to shape it this way, or you just get together like you normally do and magic happens when you work together?
Well, usually we just get together and magic happens, but Mary knows what she wants. And if she says, this is the way I want to do the scene, then we're all doing the scene that way. She is the queen, bottom line. So I hope that answers your question.
For sure. What has this done for you at acting as you shift into acting in this stage in your career? What does it fulfill for you that music doesn't? Is it a different reflex that you feel, or emotion, or how does it affect you?
People take me a lot more serious. I love hip hop, love everything that it's done for my lifestyle, but you mature after a while, and hip hop sometimes doesn't let you grow. So this is a great second act right here, the acting thing, and it's all kind of room for growth. So I'm coming at it full steam ahead.
Absolutely. I thank you, Meth, for your time there, wrapping me. Have a great season. I appreciate your time. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for your time.
Of course. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
The pleasure is entirely mine. Well, congratulations. Welcome to what is becoming a very culture-shifting franchise, universe that's exceedingly popular. When you step into a franchise like this with a character like Noma, what do you want to establish from our first meeting of you, of who you are as an actress and who Noma is to all these people?
Oh, wow. Well, I think who she wants to establish as a character is pretty much in the writing. Like Brett Mahoney, he created this absolutely magnificent character. And I think with that sort of material, you have no choice but to just go for it. And I think, I don't know if you've seen any of the screeners or anything like that, but she comes in with a bang, and it's all pretty much there on the screen. And all I had to do basically is follow instructions and do my job, and it was all there. So I think, she's a badass. She's someone that you do not mess around with. If it's going down, you want her on your side of the team, because she will go all out for anyone she loves. So I think, she's establishing that she's not to be played with. Male, female, anyone can get it. She does not play.
Definitely not to be trifled with. And for you, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to get to know you, for your talents. And what was striking about that role that you really wanted to lean into?
Whenever I get material, I read it and I have a strong yes or a no. It's happened my entire career. So I read this script and I immediately connected with Noma. As I was reading it, I just knew how she needed to be portrayed. It was something that happened instinctively. And I just I felt connected to her in some way. And she's kind of living through me. It's happening. It's almost like I'm channeling her. But I just, as a female, as a Black female, to get these badass roles, these female bosses, these queen pins, they do not come along, every 5 minutes. So I love that they wrote her unapologetically. She does not apologize for her behavior, and men fear her. And I feel like we do need those characters that men fear, the females. Men need to know that they can get it too, that we're not to be messed with. So that was what really made me want to play this role. Like she tests the men,
Make them fear. With
exactly.
Because, when women kingpin, often we see this kind of trope where they're more of the emotional type of overload and not so cutthroat. So with this badassery that we're going to see you over the course of the season, our female badasses are never just sitting on the throne. They're engaged. They're out in the field. They're shooting. They're jumping. They're running. Will we get an opportunity to see that dynamic of your performance too? Like just out there.
Yeah.
Your hands dirty.
Oh, she definitely gets her hands dirty. She, you know what, if, you know, like when you're playing like sports in school, and if, you know, if the guys would typically pick all the guys first and then the females get picked last, she's the person you want first on your team, because she goes above and beyond to protect those she loves. So she definitely gets her hands dirty. And you'll see that as the season unfolds, you know, and it's so nice. Just to quickly say as well, as females in society, I feel like we don't always feel as though we're allowed to be the full expression of who we are, because we're scared of being called bitches or this or that, especially as a Black woman. And what I love about Noma is she does not care. In fact, she'll take it as a compliment. Call her a bitch, call her all these names. Yeah, she'll be like, thank you. And she owns it. And I love that this is being portrayed on screen, because I don't think I've ever seen that before in my entire career or ever, where it's just so normalized that she can be a badass.
I love the ruthlessness. We need it. We need energy. Well, I thank you so much for your time. Congratulations to you. Have a marvelous, marvelous season. Noma comes with a bang, and I'm ready to see it.
Thank you so much, Jondra. Thanks for the great questions. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mary. You look incredible. As always, I expect nothing less.
Thank you.
My favorite thing in the world is just the utter disgust on Monet's face when she's looking at Diana, played by LaToya Tonodeo. Just the disgust, the disappointment, and everything that's led them to this point. For someone like Monet, who's ruthless, and not ruthless, but versed in the game, how has this devastation of the personal season pushing her forward, does it make a character like her more vulnerable or more ruthless?
Well, there's two things happening. She's vulnerable and ruthless. She's vulnerable because she lost her baby, and it was established in the last season that he knew about it and she knew about it, and then he gets killed. So that just rips her heart to pieces. And now somebody has to pay, but he was also her exit strategy. So now there's a double payment, you know, so she's pissed off at everybody. She's pissed off at Diana for blowing up the spot and messing everything up, because she loses two things: her exit strategy and her child, you know. And so it just makes her, she can't help but to be vulnerable. And so, but she don't want people to see her like that. So that's a whole nother kind of anger. And the revenge, you know, that's a whole nother thing. So it's just layer after layer of layer of vulnerability mixed with anger. So that's not a good combination.
As you continue your journey in this acting portion of your career, it's been exciting just to see it grow and blossom. What do you think that does acting do something different from you than performance, because you still actively tour and perform and record? Is it a different artistic satisfaction for you?
It is. Acting is, not taking my hats off to the Queen Latifahs and the Angela Bassett's and the, you know, those amazing and the Tarajis, because it's hard. It's hard to take something on paper and turn and bring it into real life. You just have to have the courage to travel into a real place in your own life to bring this thing to life. So yeah.
Does anything make you feel, or do you feel completely free and fearless? I mean, you've checked so many wonderful accolades off in your life. Do you feel free in your life as a performer?
Yeah, as a performer, yes. As Mary J. Blige, the singer, performer, yes. As Mary J. Blige, the actress, I'm free, but I'm also still learning and growing in my acting. But I'm free because I want more of it. You know, I crave more of it. I want to learn more, and I want to be better at it, and I want to continue to do it.
Mm-hmm. With Monet, what would you say, has Monet transformed any of this loss obviously affects her too, but in terms of overall transformation from when we first meet the Tejadas to what's going to happen in season 3, is she down, up, you know, where is she emotionally? Is she very different from the person that we first met?
She's not different from the person that you first met, not really. She's just a person. And she's having a human moment where she lost something that she gave up as a young girl that came back into her life and now is gone. And so she's just having a human moment. She's just letting people see a side of her that they've never seen. but they're also going to continue to see the side that they always seeing, which is the murderer, which is the person that don't trust anybody. So, you know, yeah, it's an arc, or it's a bunch of stuff. You know, it's a nice arc of things, but it's not like, oh God, why is she doing that? No, it's she's a human being that's getting ready, that's having a moment of sadness, and she's gonna kill everybody because of it.
As she should. As she should. And lastly, you know, you're on set with Meth a lot. You guys do a lot of scenes together. Can we tickle the fancy and maybe some more music collaborations with you and Meth?
I'm here. Whenever Meth says let's go, or whenever they say let's do it, I'm here for it. I can't wait to do another record with him. Mm-hmm. You know, the one we got a Grammy for it. It's in history. So
exactly. Mary, you are amazing. Thank you for your time. I respect you greatly, and I just admire you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Tejada.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.